Welcome to Betsy's Nighttime Comforts. I'm your host, Betsy, and tonight we join the group of friends as they settle into their hotel room, filled with excitement for the festivities that await them the next day. Just as they begin to relax, an unexpected knock at the door leads them to uncover the mysterious identity of the man in the SUV, Burt. So let's find a comfortable spot and get ready to dive into this intriguing tale. Before we do, I want to share a wonderful, peaceful memory of my own. Today in Iowa, the temperature hovered around a crisp 40 degrees, the kind of weather that softens the ground just enough for playful mischief. My two golden doodle puppies, Cole and Chip, were absolutely delightful as they bounded through the mud, their fluffy coats gleaming in the dim light. Cole, with his all-black fur, looked like a little shadow as he darted around, his bright eyes nearly hidden beneath the curls of his hair. Chip, on the other hand, sported a beautiful brown coat and had a slightly more pointed nose, reminiscent of his poodle heritage. At just 6 months old, both brothers weigh approximately 70 pounds and are full of energy and charm. Watching them brought back fond memories of my own children when they were young. I recalled a family gathering where my eldest daughter, dressed in a sweet pink dress, was the picture of innocence and joy. As the rain began to fall, I sat at a table in the garage, observing the scene unfolding in front of me. My children were playing in the water on the driveway, splashing and laughing, their joy uncontained. Suddenly, my daughter decided that lying in the wet grass would be a fun idea. Just as I noticed her, she was already making mud angels, her giggles echoing through the air. By the time I reached her, she was covered head to toe in mud. The once bright pink of her dress, almost unrecognizable beneath a thick layer of dirt. Her cute little shoes were lost in the muck, and her hair was a wild mess, streaked with earthy tones. Despite her muddy state, she wore the biggest smile, most radiant smile on her face, a look of pure joy that melted my heart. When I picked her up, she beamed with pride, completely unbothered by her messy appearance. It was a moment of carefree childhood that I will always cherish. Now, as we prepare to relax, let's take a moment to close our eyes and allow our shoulders to soften. Slowly move your neck back and forth, releasing any tension that you might be holding on to. Think about a special time in your life, perhaps a moment that made you smile, just like my daughter in the mud. With your eyes still closed, let's take a deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. And now breathe out letting go of any stress from your day. Again, breathe in. Hold it. And gently let go as you breathe out. Now let's begin tonight's tale together. Road Trip, Part 4. Should we answer the door? As the night deepened, Mike, Jane, Kim, and Jimmy settled into their cozy hotel room, the dim light creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. Laughter and camaraderie from the bar still echoed in their minds, but now, as they nestled under the covers, a sense of tranquility washed over them. Finally, some time to relax, Kim sighed, stretching out on her bed. I hope tomorrow brings some fun adventures. Agreed, Jane said, a smile playing on her lips. I can't wait for the festival. It sounds like a blast. As the gang settled into bed, excited for the festivities the next day, a sudden noise pierced the calm. A throat being cleared, followed by the soft sound of footsteps approaching their door. Jimmy, who lay closest to the entrance, perked up, his senses sharpening. Did you hear that? Jimmy asked, sitting up straighter. Yeah, what was that? Mike replied, glancing toward the door. The footsteps grew nearer, and they all held their breath, suddenly feeling a wave of unease wash over them. The sound of a knock echoed through the room. Who could that be? Kim whispered, a hint of apprehension in her voice. I'll check, Jimmy said, swinging his legs out of bed and moving toward the door. He opened it cautiously, revealing the receptionist standing there with a concerned expression. Sorry to disturb you, she said in a low voice, glancing around as if ensuring no one else was nearby. I received a call from your room saying the air conditioner wasn't working. Is everything all right? Jimmy exchanged puzzled glances with the others. But we didn't call about that, he replied, his brow furrowing. Yeah, it's working fine, Mike chimed in, stepping forward. We were just getting ready for bed. The receptionist frowned slightly, her eyes darting momentarily to the floor. That's strange. I'll have to check into it. But just to be safe, if you notice anything unusual, please let me know. As they stood there, a loud creaking sound interrupted their conversation. The door across the hall swung open, revealing the man from the SUV, who stepped into view. His demeanor was casual, but there was an intensity in his gaze as he approached. Hey, everything all right? He asked, directing his question toward the receptionist. Hi, Burt, she replied, her tone shifting to one of familiarity. I was just checking on these guests. I got a call from their number saying there was a problem with their air conditioning, but they said they didn't call. Interesting, Burt said, his eyes narrowing as he turned to face Mike and his friends. "You're the ones who knocked on my door earlier, right?" "Yeah, we were just curious," Mike admitted, feeling a surge of defensiveness. "We didn't mean any harm." Burt crossed his arms, his expression unreadable. "Curiosity can lead to trouble, you know." "Is that a threat?" Jane interjected, her voice steady despite her unease. "Let's not escalate things," the receptionist said quickly, sensing the tension. "Burt, can you please give us a moment?" Burt hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Fine. Just keep your heads on straight. This isn't a game." With that, he turned back towards his room and disappeared inside, closing the door behind him with a definite thud. As the door clicked shut, the atmosphere became charged with uncertainty. The receptionist sighed, her shoulders slumping slightly. "I'm sorry about him. He's got a bit of a reputation around here." "What do you mean?" Kim asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. "He's been linked to some odd activities in the area," she explained, lowering her voice. "There have been reports of thefts and strange occurrences. I've even heard rumors from other guests about him being involved in some sort of surveillance operation." "Surveillance?" Mike echoed, feeling the weight of her words. "What does that mean?" "It means he's likely watching people, gathering information," she said, her expression grave. "I don't know exactly what for, but I've seen him with equipment that suggests he's monitoring the hotel." "Is he working with you?" Kim asked, her voice shaky. "Are you in on whatever he's doing?" "Absolutely not," the receptionist insisted, her eyes wide with indignation. "I'm just trying to keep this place safe and ensure guests don't get caught up in whatever he's doing. I want to help you." "Then what should we do?" Mike asked, feeling a surge of urgency. "Keep your distance and don't engage with him," she advised. "If he approaches you, act casual. Don't let him know you're suspicious. I'll keep an eye on things from my end. He rents a room from us quite often. He knows the owners of the hotel, and they let him rent the room for months at a time. He comes and goes." "Thanks for looking out for us," Jane said, her voice softening. "We appreciate it." As the receptionist prepared to leave, she turned back to them. "And if you see Burt again, remember, just act normal. Don't let him know you're suspicious." "Got it," Kim said, her voice firm. "We'll keep our eyes open." With that, the receptionist left, closing the door behind her. The group stood in silence, processing the weight of what they had just learned. "Okay, so now we have a potential spy next door," Mike said, shaking his head in disbelief. "What a vacation, huh?" "I don't like it," Jane admitted, crossing her arms. "This feels way too creepy." "What if he has cameras in our room and he's watching us?" Jimmy suggested. They all look around the room to see if they notice anything. "Let's just focus on the festival tomorrow." Jimmy laughed, trying to lighten the mood. It'll be fun, and we can forget about Burt and his weirdness. Yeah, let's not let him ruin our trip, Kim agreed, though uncertainty lingered in her eyes as she looked around the room. As they settled back into their beds, the earlier cozy atmosphere felt tinged with unease. The festival awaited them the next day, but now it felt like they were stepping into a mystery far larger than they had anticipated. With the shadows of doubt lingering, they closed their eyes, ready to face whatever twist the night and the festival might bring. Dear listeners, as you drift off to sleep, consider this. When faced with uncertainty, how do you navigate the unknown? Every adventure is filled with risks and surprises, but sometimes the greatest discoveries lie just beyond the horizon. Until next time, pleasant dreams and good night.